In this episode, we look at some Icon radios, listen to a guy talk, make a mayday call.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Hercules, Hercules, Hercules.
And I moan about £8 for a picture.
When these used to be like £3.
Good morning, thrill seekers, and welcome back to the DC Experience channel. Thank you so much for supporting me on my journey to take my Atlantic 75 around the coast this year in July. And today is quite an exciting day. So today I'm sitting my VHF course, my radio course. Now, if any of you don't know, what you need is a license to be able to take a boat out onto the open waters and transmit over a VHF radio. So when I had my radios fitted, I've got an Icon radio, and when I had that fitted onto the boat, I got it registered with my MMSI number, so that's fine. So the boat is registered, but I need an operator license now, so I'm allowed to transmit myself. I think it's going to be a fairly easy course, but I don't know, because I've never done anything like this before. So we'll see. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's a lovely sunny day. It's going to be a lovely day today. I don't think we're really going to be going outside though. I'd imagine this is mostly classroom based. There's a theory part and a practical part. The only thing I have done is, it does say on the form I saw a minute ago that you're supposed to bring a passport photo. I forgot that. I haven't bought one of those, so I don't know if I can jump into a Tesco's or something.
Found one. £8. Waiting. £8. Remember when these used to be like £3?
So yes, I'll show you a little bit more during the day if I can, a little bit about what this VHF course is about and some of the people I'm going to be seeing today. So enjoy the day. It's unlocked. Oh, we're here then. Look at this. What a beautiful day. This is where we are. Borland's Marina. So apparently we got to go over the bridge. Okay. And to the left for the boats. What a lovely morning. Look at that. Lovely morning. And this is where we're heading, over here.
We do coastal power boating, which some of you have done with us. And we do shore-based navigation, and of course we do these specialist courses as well. So things such as VHF radio, first aid, and the likes. So there we go. So that's a little bit about us and what we sort of get up to here. There are a few of us here now. What we're trying to do is reduce the amount of time that actually we're talking when we're doing our radio. So as you can imagine, you know, if you're using a particular channel, lots of people might be wanting to use that particular channel. And what we're trying to do is make our messages as short as possible. And that's why we use these procedure words to do that. One, it's a set format which everybody's expecting, and it makes them as short as possible. And if we can do that, it generally means things go a bit quicker.
So where does Roger come from?
Yeah.
Because so that was in my head. Is it on a television programme?
It's a cabin boy. Leave alone. Yeah, it's a weird one, that. I should imagine some of it comes from CB radio a little bit.
Oh yeah, my brother had one of those. That's why.
And some of the procedures you work in CB. Yeah, so in marine radio we don't use Roger. No. You do hear it, if I'm honest. You won't find Roger in any, you know, text or book or procedure. It does not exist in VHF radio. You will apply for a license for your fixed sets. So it basically goes through a lot of questions, you know. how many fixed sets do you have? Are they digital? Are they a bit older? It will ask you things like, do you have radar on board the boat? So that goes on your license. And it may ask you if you've got other pieces of equipment such as AIS, automatic identification systems. Effectively, any piece of equipment you have on your boat that has the ability to transmit a signal outside of the vessel goes on a license. Now, where a portable license comes in is where you have handhelds. Okay, so with a handheld, of course, it isn't fixed to just one vessel, is it? If this could go across another, so I might have a kayak and a sailing yacht and a rib, and actually I use that across all of them. Now, rather than putting that on lots of different licenses, I can just apply for what we call a ship's portable license, and therefore we license the kit, but it's not licensed to a vessel, so it can be moved from vessel to vessel. Okay. Of course, the only thing we can put on that is anything portable, such as handhelds, and there's something called PLBs, which stands for a personal locator beacon. Okay, and these are things that kind of go on your life jacket, and if you, as a skipper, if you end up in the water, you can activate it, and it sends a distress alert to the Coast Guard and pinpoints your location. Handhelds can go on ship's radio licenses as well. All right, just to confuse you, but that then becomes fixed to the vessel. Okay, so then you can't take it on your kayak unless you put it on a portable license as well. Does that make sense? So if you do have your fixed equipment on board and some handhelds, you don't have to go out and buy these. You have to go out and get these 2 licenses. You can put it all on your fixed one. Just then stays to the vessel. There are lots of different pieces of equipment out there, hundreds of different sorts of radios. And of course, I can't teach you the ins and outs of how every single radio works. Okay? We're going to go through some of the basics of a radio and how they operate. This is kind of what you'll find on 90% of the radios out there, even stuff that's very, very old. But let's have a look. So, like I said, they're real radios. They have been tweaked with to make sure that they don't transmit outside of this room. But the receive function hasn't been changed at all. So let's have a look then. So the first thing we need to do is obviously give them a power source in your boat. They won't just work unless you plug them into something. With handhelds, make sure you keep them charged up. Okay? Handhelds aren't like mobile phones. They will last on standby for a long, long time. I hardly ever charge this one up. But when the battery starts getting low on it, so you start getting almost that last battery indicator symbol coming up on your handheld, go and get it charged up, all right? Because it'll probably work fine on standby, but if you try and use it, try and transmit with it and draw a load of power from the battery, what you normally find is it goes off, all right? And that's just enough to kill it. So just make sure with these, if you are using them, just remember to keep them charged up before you head out. Next thing we need to do is give our radios, our modern digital radios, something called a GNSS input, which stands for the Global Navigation Satellite System. It's basically a GPS source. Our modern radios need to know where they are. Okay, so if we hit the big red button, it sends our position. It can only do that if the radio knows where it is. Okay, so it will do that by having a GNSS input. So integrated into some sort of other piece of equipment on board your vessel, such as a chart plotter or GPS unit. The early ones always had to be integrated. Sometimes getting them to talk is not very easy. Like if you're getting a Garmin trying to talk to a RYA marine system, it's not just a case of plug and play. It's generally a lot of settings you have to change. It can't be that easy. So I always say, for the sake of an extra 20-30 quid, if you are buying a new radio, just get one with built-in GPS. It's so much easier. Then if you have an issue with your chart plotter, your radio is always good to go. So dual watch is your ability to listen to a channel of your choosing, so whatever you want to pick. So let's assume 12 in our instance, and 16. Okay. You can't select 12 and 14 or 12 and 6. It's always one channel of your choosing and 16. So if you just pop your radios onto, let's go channel 8, for example. Let's assume we're out with a couple of boats and we've decided we're going to monitor channel 8. And then if you select DW at the bottom, on your screen it will flash up in small writing, dual 16. Everyone got that?
Yeah.
Good. Some radios you'll see the actual physical number, the big number, flicking between the two. These ones come up dual 16. Or some might just go put a little 16 in the corner. So what this radio is now doing is it's monitoring 12 and 16, but not at the same time. All right? It can't do that. So it will go to 8, but what will happen is you'll get this cutout in the communication. So it almost sounds like you're going through a tunnel in the car on a mobile phone, and you'll keep getting this cutout. Because what it's doing is it's continuing to monitor 16 for you. Okay? If somebody then were to talk on 16, it will go there, and that is where it will stay. Okay? And it won't come off 16 until that person, whoever is transmitting, takes their finger off the button. And then it will start monitoring rate again. So it is a useful function, and we can think of some reasons in a moment why we might use it. But you can see actually, on some occasions, you might miss something. So let's assume somebody was talking on 16, the Coast Guard for example. If somebody now talked on 8 at the same time, you're not going to hear it. Yeah? If somebody talks on 8 and nobody's on 16, you will capture it, but it's a bit broken. It's not exactly clear. So sometimes it's a bit hard to listen to. So it's a good function, but there are some downsides. So you might want to use it if you're cruising in company, for example. So if there's 2 or 3 boats of you going out, or there's 2 or 3 kayaks which are all going out together with handhelds, you might say, well, we'll all monitor channel 8, and of course we'll monitor 16 at the same time. It's a good use of dual watch. You might be in an area where you're required to monitor another channel on top of 16, around Harwich, for example. So they may say to you, in this area you need to monitor channel 71. We're still at sea though, so we still need to be monitoring 16. Again, that's where dual watch is a good function. I tend to use my handheld if I need to listen to 2 channels. I'm lucky I've got a fixed set and a handheld, and I can monitor 16 or the chosen channel on 1, clip it to me in my life jacket, and then I put my main set on the other channel. Now I'm monitoring 2 channels at the exact same time, and there's never that broken or I'm going to miss anything. Of course, the range is reduced on this. So your microphone is on the end of the cord, generally under a grill. It's not the silver bit on the back. Somebody always talks into the back bit. Nice, on the front. This is the bit you want to talk into. You don't want to be covering that at all. Sometimes you see people doing this. You know, you see them watching the movies. Well, that's what the police do, isn't it? And they cover it with their hand. No, just keep your hand away from it. Good microphone technique is just in front of your mouth and off to the side ever so slightly. Okay, that's good mic technique. And if you're on a handheld, try and keep the aerial up straight. But just off to the side, so you almost talk out of the corner of your mouth. You don't want it up here like this, talking down there, because it's a heavy breathe down the radios, which somebody doesn't. And then we turn it down, it's cringe moment. And you don't want it down here either, you know, if you're on your boat, because I won't hear you very well. Just in front of your mouth and off to the side. So we don't want to see this. Right round the side here. This happens quite a lot now. Never used to, doesn't it? So I might say something like lowest off port control, this is the Phoenix. So we identify ourselves as well. I might say lowest off port control, this is the Phoenix. Or I can say it 3 times. Or we can mix it up. I might say lowest off port control, this is the Phoenix. There's no rule. Okay? 1 is your minimum for either, so the call, who you're calling and who you are, and 3 is the maximum. It depends on the circumstance, if I'm honest, okay? Which I'll explain a little bit as we go into it. We're going to identify ourselves, obviously, with all our call sign, so our vessel name. We use this is before we say our name, and then obviously we say over, our procedure word for inviting our response. And we wait 2 minutes for a response. That's quite a long time when you're sitting waiting. If we don't get a response within 2 minutes, we can try them again. Perhaps they were busy or didn't hear us, might have been in a dead spot. We might even want to bump the power up if we think we're a little bit too far away. So I think in this first one, so on top of your radios you've got here today, you've got your vessel names that we're going to use. So you gents are going to be on the Orion, you guys are on the Hercules, and you guys at the back there on the Phoenix. Okay, so they're your vessel names for the day. Happy to go?
Happy to go.
Let's give it a go. Your bit's in red.
You want me to transmit or just say it?
No, yeah, you're going to transmit, yeah, if you want to hear them.
Low stop port control, low stop port control. This is Orion, over.
Orion, this is low stop port control, over.
It was a 2 and a 2, you went with a 2 and a 1, that's absolutely fine, no rule. And you see, there was 0 point really Lowestoft coming back saying, Orion, 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 this is Lowestoft port control, Lowestoft port control, Lowestoft port control, over. He could have done. It's a bit tedious now, doesn't it? Yeah, good. So that's step number 1, we've got our response. Now we can go into our message. So the message can of course be anything you want it to be, all right? You'll decide what you say, just like talking on a phone. What I'm looking for here is every time we pick that microphone up and push that button, you must always say who you're talking to and who you are. Now a lot of people drop that and it's a really bad habit to do. Who you're calling, Lowestoft port control, who you are, Orion. And you can see now the circumstances change because we're already talking to them. A 1 and a 1 is fine. It'd get really boring if you kept doing it 3 and a 3 all the way through this. Happy with that? Do you have a go?
Sure. Low stop port control, this is Orion. I am North Newcombe, about 2 minutes from the pier heads. I'd like permission to enter, over.
Good.
Orion, this is low stop port control, all clearing, over.
Brilliant. So of course the message can be different. What we're looking for there is who we're calling, who we are every time, and getting the right procedure word as over, because we want somebody to talk back. Good. But they've invited a response, so they want us to talk back. So now we're going to end the call. Step number 3. Remember, we can't just finish radio communication without finishing. So we're going to finish our call.
Low stop port control, this is Orion. All received, out.
So a really nice way of finishing
Now
off.
you're all cock.
Something like that. So a really nice way of finishing off radio communication is with something like all received or all understood. John, you're travelling into Ipswich Lock. You need to make contact with the marina for your berthing allocation. Ipswich Haven Marina operates on channel 80.
Okay. Ipswich Haven Marina, Ipswich Haven Marina. This is Hercules, over.
Did that work?
Hercules, Ipswich Haven Marina, over.
Ipswich Haven Marina, Ipswich Haven Marina. I'd like to make a berthing allocation, over. Oh, I got one wrong
Yeah,
there.
it's on 80.
Yeah.
Can't hear anything.
Maybe not correct. Is it not close enough or something? 2 minutes, I don't know.
Hercules, this is Ipswich Haven Marina. Please clarify your location, over.
She's not hearing you.
No.
Oh, have we got something wrong here? This
No,
sounds
we're
like-
on 80.
No, this isn't making a sound at all. High
Oh, let's have a look at the screen here.
25 watts.
There's something going on here.
We're on dual.
80 international, is that the state?
We don't want to be on dual, do we?
We're on dual. We were on dual.
Right.
All right.
Try again.
No. How about if I press clear?
We'll
Go
hover,
touch some more buttons.
we'll hover at marina end. We're hovering.
Anything else you want to change?
I think we're
We're on 1 volt. We're not on dual now. We're on 80.
No.
Right, I'm gonna
You
figure
have to
out your
jump in
misery.
and rescue me.
Go on.
What?
Definitely mine. It doesn't work.
What?
Doesn't work. I always like this because something doesn't work on a radio, we change everything. Yeah, we just set our radios up this morning to be perfect, and now we're changing the squelch, transmission, dual watch. We just press every button we possibly can to find out why it's not working. Have a look on the top of your screen. There's a 3-letter word that's appeared.
INT.
DUP.
DUP.
Duplex. Channel 80 is what we call a duplex channel. I'm not going to take you into too much depth on the weird and wonderful world of duplex.
It's two-way.
Duplex. You can read it in your books. It doesn't work. 2 boats cannot talk to one another on a duplex channel.
Oh,
Okay.
I see.
And that's why they're not communicating.
So it's
These are all
only-
boat radios.
Okay, so this is shore stations only, or marinas in specific?
Boats can talk to shore stations. So in a real world, that would have worked.
Okay, yeah.
But channel 80 is what we call a duplex channel, and you can't talk boat to boat on a duplex channel because it uses different frequencies. On channel 80, on any duplex channel, 2 boats can't talk together, and nor would they need to, because it's not a channel we should use. And 2 shore stations can't talk together either, and nor would they want to. All right. You can have communication between boat and shore station and vice versa, but you'll only ever hear one side of it. You'll only ever hear the shore side, which is fine if we're talking to them. But if you're approaching Ipswich Lock and think, well, I'm going to call up in a minute, and you're hearing all this conversation, you're only going to hear one side of it. So, menu is your first one. Okay. Doesn't matter what channel you're on. That's it.
Individual call.
Yeah, we're only calling one person. We're calling the Phoenix. That will just wait for an acknowledgement. So yours is now beeping. So there's your call coming through. So any button just to shut it up. That's it. We'll acknowledge it for ACK.
ACK, yeah.
Yep.
And enter.
And then call.
Cool.
Nope, doesn't matter. They've obviously done something wrong because they're calling me now. So we'll do the other way round. So we'll hit a button to shut it up. That's it. Acknowledge it, ACK. Enter to able to comply and call. There you go. There's your acknowledgement. Any button does just make it go quiet. And then you're both on channel 8. And then you can just do whatever you just do your 3-step rule then with your call.
So, menu, PC call, so that's enter. Then scroll down to RYA. Enter.
Call.
To RYA. Don't I scroll down to the...
No, that's
No,
it.
we're on RYA.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it, right up.
There's your call.
There's your acknowledgement. And then you're both on the working channel.
8, yeah.
Yeah. We'll send them, so you guys are going to send a message to Phoenix for me, who are going to be unable to comply.
Okay.
We're busy.
Pleasure.
We're busy.
Tea time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Cool. No, this one.
So received, unable acknowledgement.
What does this say?
Individual call failure. So all they've gone is received unavailable acknowledgement, and it said communication failed or whatever, it was, something failed. So it sent the signal. All right, turn your radio on. So nothing's come through yet. Turn your radio on. So you've now got on your board your boat. Radio flashes up.
Yeah, we're all on.
Nothing.
Nope.
Because it didn't receive it at the time where it's sent.
Yeah.
So all it's done is just gone into thin air.
Yeah, back.
So we're going to send our DSC alert out. That lets all the coastal stations and vessels around us, most importantly, that we are in distress, and then it sends some various information that we're going to have a look at in a moment. After sending our DSC alert, we now have to send our voice alert. Okay, so this lets everybody know now that we've got a problem. So we say the word mayday 3 times. This is our boat name 3 times. Then we say our call sign and MMSI number. So your call sign is given to you from Ofcom when you apply for your ship's radio licence. Then we would tell them our MMSI number. So you just read it out, 235899980. Directly after that, we're now going to say our voice message. So this is all just one long procedure. We repeat the word mayday. We say that once. We repeat our boat name just once. We repeat our call sign and our MMSI number. So far, all I've done is repeated myself. Now we're going to tell them where we are, our position. And you can give your position either as latitude and longitude, assuming, of course, you've got it in front of you to read. Now, that could be on your chart plotter or perhaps on your radio or however else you might be getting your lat long. If you haven't got it, rather than sitting there trying to plot it on some sort of a chart, best thing to do is just tell them where you are. So, you know, I'm 3 miles, approximately 3 miles east of Lowestoft, or 1 mile southeast of Southwold. Just give them an approximation. We're going to tell them what the matter is, so what the nature of our distress is. I'm on fire, or we're sinking, or man overboard, or skipper's got a deep head wound and is unconscious. We're going to tell them we need immediate assistance, so we're not going to get into the whole, I need a helicopter, or I need a lifeboat. And then any other information that we have that we deem relevant, so such as how many people on board. So no point me hearing this mayday, and I'm on my small little rib, and I go zooming off to help. Then I look at it and go, oh, it's a P&O cruise liner. I'm not going to get all the people on my boat. Yep.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Phoenix, Phoenix, Phoenix. Call sign Foxtrot, Golf, Papa, Romeo 3. MMSI number 2359981. Mayday, this is Phoenix, Foxtrot, Golf, Papa, Romeo 3. MMSI 2359981. 3 miles south Great Yarmouth Harbour. Distress, severe head wound to a crew member. Assistance immediate. Persons on board 4. Over.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. Call sign Lima, Delta, Papa, Papa 8. 235899980. Mayday. This is Hercules, Lima, Delta, Papa, Papa 8. 235899980. Position 51 degrees 36 minutes north, 01 degree 32 minutes east. Engine fire, disabled and drifting, immediate assistance required. 4 persons on board, abandoning vessel. Over.
DSC urgency alert. Okay. Now we don't obviously hit the red button because that's our DSC distress alert. So we send our urgent alert. You do have to go into the menu for this one. So it's back into that DSC menu that we were in earlier. We select all ships rather than an individual, so it goes out to everybody, this one. It will then say distress, urgent or safety. We obviously click urgent because we're doing a pan-pan, our urgency announcements. It'll automatically select channel 16 for you, press call. We've got the time to do this one though, haven't we? Yeah, this person isn't going to drop dead on us, or we're not going to suddenly start sinking. After that, we're going to do our voice announcement. So we're going to say pan, 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 pan. All stations, all stations, all stations. So this one we do put all stations in, okay, because this one's an announcement. This is our boat name 3 times, our call sign and our MMSI. It's not too dissimilar, is it, to what we've just been doing. So as ships, we're not prohibited from sending safety calls. They're more than likely going to come from the Coast Guard as security messages. So security message will come out. They're also communicated via the Maritime Safety Information broadcasts. Okay. So these are broadcasts which go out at various times of the day, depending on where you are, and they do things like navigational warnings, you know, lights that are off and those sorts of things. So any security messages that have gone out, they will also get repeated. In terms of talking to other vessels, we're quite limited, aren't we, in our range? You know, we've already said, you know, a boat with a 16-metre mast talking to another boat with a 16-metre mast, going back to that calculation we did right this morning, 16 to 24-ish nautical miles approximately. Who's got a 16-metre mast in here? No. So what sort of range are we going to get potentially? Not far is probably the answer.
Well, that was quite stressful. No, it wasn't really. It's quite good. It shot to zero really good. So that's a pass. So apparently I can use a marine radio now, which is really good. However, it's quite a long day, as all these boating days seem to be really long. So, time to go home and let the pups out and get using my marine radio. Apparently that's what I've been told to do, just keep using it. So yeah, next time I'll be back here is in a month's time to do my powerboat intermediate course. See you later.